Hello YouTube, and it's Sunday morning. Welcome to my humble home. It's been a week since I got this, the Asus n552vx in my mail. I did a very quick unboxing video on Monday. Just when I got it, you got to see my first reactions on unboxing it. I've never seen it live before because I ordered it off the internet, and in that video I had very long hair and I didn't shave, so I apologize for that. Now I'm looking more like my usual self. So spent a week not using this computer really because I have a job, and I've only run some tests during the evenings. But I thought I'd take my experiences and put them into a surprisingly long video talking about this laptop and what I think about it, and some suggestions or tips or should you buy it or shouldn't you. So enjoy this video. Alright, let's talk a bit about quality. When you spend money on something, you want it to have reasonable quality. And reasonable quality is, for instance, it works as advertised, it will last for a while, not only until the day after the warranty runs out. Practical things like that, that's quality. Then of course there is another kind of quality, where it feels nice and it looks nice. We can call that Apple quality. And of course the look and feel of things really shouldn't be a big issue, because if it works, it works, and having something pretty that doesn't work, what's the point of that? Of course, Apple has proven time and again that you don't really have to have that much functionality as long as you wrap it up in a nice looking package, like the first iPhone that you couldn't even send text messages on. But still, it proves that the look and feel of things is very important for that sense of quality. If you pick up a MacBook or something, you kind of feel that, ooh, this is nice. It's the same with the Surface 3, which just feels nice when you're holding it. This, on the other hand, doesn't feel very nice. I mean, it kind of looks nice. If you look at it, got that metallic sheen on it. Supposedly this is aluminium. Can't really say if it is, but it's supposed to be. And nice and shiny on the top here. But if you hold it in your hand, it is kind of light. And that's one thing that really strangely, heavy things feel more expensive than light things. and this is kind of too light for its size. Kind of feels cheap. And then, once you get past this aluminium exterior and flip it over, you're greeted with this plastic. And that is the sound of cheap. And you kind of get that feeling all over here, that this is possibly the cheapest box they could put this computer inside. The conclusion is that Asus took some pretty high-end specs and put it in the cheapest possible box that they could find. I mean, if you compare this plastic here to, I don't know, the plastic that you get on the back of a Xperia Z4 tablet, for instance, that feels like plastic, but it still feels nice. This feels like the cheapest stuff they can find, really. And because it sounds so hollow, that also makes it feel like a toy more than a serious computer, which is a shame. But on the other hand, the problem with having things that look and feel expensive is that people tend to, you know, steal them. Maybe this is a brilliant idea from Asus. They put really nice stuff inside and do the wrapping look kind of poor, and it's not just the look. I mean, it's these edges here, it doesn't quite fit, and it just feels bad. But that possibly means that no one wants to steal it, so maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. I feel kind of disappointed though, slightly cheated. When I bought this, I had the feeling that, you know, it was too cheap, because it was about 10,000 Swedish kronor, which translates to about 1,000 US dollars with the you know, tax and currency conversion and stuff, 1,100 euros or something like that. And that just sounded too cheap with regards to the CPU and memory and stuff in this. And maybe it was. I thought I was buying kind of a low-end, high-end computer. So, but in reality I was buying a high-end of a low-end computer. So I'm guessing these are coming out in cheaper versions, possibly more expensive versions as well. But I don't. If I spend more money on this, I would be really disappointed with the build quality, because it feels kind of cheap and cheerful rather than nice and cool and quick. So, that's quality. So the screen of this is 15.6 inch Full HD. These days Full HD is not much to shout about. It's just 1920 by 1080. On a screen this size, I really would have liked to have you know, QHD or something, because while it isn't unsharp, it isn't really that amazingly sharp either. Let's see if we can open up something. Like your favorite tech page, obviously, mobile tech review, and possibly you can see, you know, text is rendered very nicely, and the images look pretty nice as well. And also you can see that it loads pages pretty quickly, this computer. Let's get a more busy page. So this is a Swedish news site. Well, I say news very, very loosely, but they do provide a good benchmark for loading web pages, because there's a billion links and ads and stuff on this one, and it loads very nicely, and it looks you know, clear, easy to read. You can't really see the pixels, so I guess the screen is alright. Let's look at the viewing angles. So this is normal reading, I guess, and as you can see, it doesn't really lose the image when I turn it that way, and if I turn it this way,
yeah, still looks good. So the screen, while not being, you know, something that I would specifically buy this computer for, is still good enough. I would have liked a QHD screen, but this is good enough. I think it's clearly can do the job, and as I said, nice big screen, it works for me. So, funny thing happened. I finished my video about the Asus n552vx, the review, this morning, and I've been cutting and doing stuff most of the day, and finally uploading it, and I was very happy. And then less than 2 hours after I uploaded the file, I got a copyright notice thing from Google and YouTube saying that, oh, I was using music from a third-party recording that I didn't hold the copyright for. Which is true, because in the audio segment I actually used music from Spotify, the Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, the third movement, played by some orchestra somewhere, and apparently the record companies, they don't like that. So I'm taking that video down, and instead I'm using another piece of music to do the same thing. And this piece of music, I'm pretty sure I won't get a copyright notice off, because it is actually well, it's Göteborg's Gothenburg Symphonic Band who is playing, and I'm actually playing in the band. I'm playing the tuba, and the tune that you're gonna hear is a tune called Älvsborgsmarschen, which is written by someone in the band, a young woman named Martina Norén. So I know the composer, and I'm in the band, and it's a private recording from a concert we did last year in Beethovenhalle. So Beethoven is still there. Beethovenhalle in Bonn. So slightly less professional sounding, but it should still get the message across. So enjoy this little new segment of my review. So to showcase the audio, I'm going to play a clip, the same piece of music here on the computer first, and then on my Sonos system to make you hear the difference in sound quality. And as I explained earlier, this is amateur band playing, so please be patient. Alright, so as you can see, the volume was at 82%. In VLC player it is at 100%, so it's actually the Windows volume that matters. I'm a marching band kind of nerd, so that's a really good tune that Martina wrote for the band, really. So here's the same thing playing on my Sonos system, and supposed to see the sound quality, compare that. So here we go. Right. So the speakers in this are pretty loud, but the bass is absolutely crap. And if I was Bang & Olufsen, I might not be too happy that they actually put their name on this computer, because it doesn't sound anything like I'd expect from a Bang & Olufsen. So again, you know, kind of cheapest laptop, and you don't really expect a laptop to be sounding great, but I mean, there's so much space in here. I feel that they could have put some kind of subwoofer or something inside and get a bit more oomph in the sound, but they didn't, and as a result it sounds thin and loud. I've only had this laptop for about a week, and obviously I haven't been able to, well, not obviously, but I have another job, so I haven't been able to use this very much in the past week, and I haven't really run any extensive battery test. But my preliminary findings in just, you know, playing around with it on my sofa, I'd say that the battery life is not very good. Windows says it is about 3.5 hours on a full charge when you're doing, you know, watching movies and stuff. Playing games, less than that, which is a bit disappointing. I mean, probably this, I didn't buy this to be my take out on the plane and sit and watch movies while I'm you know, cross-Atlantic flights or anything. But still, 3.5 hours is not very much, especially considering that there seems to be so much air in the lid here, under the lid. It feels that they could have fit a bigger battery in. Of course, that would also make it heavier, and I never thought I was going to say that, but actually a bit of extra weight might have been nice on this computer, because it, as I said earlier, kind of feels too light for its size. But so battery life not very good. This is probably going to be a laptop that you use mainly plugged in and, you know, running on battery on special occasions for a while. If you want battery stamina, there are other products you can buy, and I do recommend the Surface 3, which I find a very good travel companion with good battery life and you know, surprising amount of power. Not as much power as this, but at least twice the battery life. So battery, slightly disappointing. During the past week, I've been trying to get some kind of idea of the performance of this, running, you know, benchmarks, installing games and stuff. And in general, you can say that it runs games surprisingly well, and also surprisingly quiet, which I think is very nice. So I'm gonna throw up a bunch of benchmarks that you can see, and you know, just compare to other stuff. I've also run most of the benchmarks with and without the power attached. And this is really interesting thing that happens if you pull the plug, if you pull the power plug when you're doing gaming and running graphical benchmarks, and that is that the frames per second seem to be limited to 30, which seems kind of odd. It's almost like they, instead of lowering the power, they just limit the FPS, which amounts to the same kind of results, obviously. But it's really clear in some of the benchmarks that
you know, they run steadily on 30 frames per second, which it just seems odd. And because I noticed that, I really wanted to run some more tests to see if it was actually limited with the power plugged in. But that doesn't seem to be the case. It just seems to be it's limited to 30 frames per second when running a battery, which, you know, it's kind of cool way to solve that, doing some driver thing rather than actually doing some kind of hardware thing. I don't know how they do it usually. Lower the power. They limit the frames per second, which will automatically lower the power. But it looks odd because if you run the benchmarks, you get 30 frames per second, nothing more, nothing less. So that's interesting. Let's take a look at some slides with benchmarks.
benchmarks is it's one thing, it's good, but it's another thing to actually see things, how they load, how they work. So I'm gonna start up a couple of games to see how quickly they load and what they look like on screen. And as you can see, you're actually seeing the screen. This is not a recording, it's my hand. So this is what it looks like in real life. Let's start with my favorite game, Civilization.
Just as it has always been. When blessings of heaven be upon you, Empress Wu Zetian, most beautiful and haughty ruler of China. Oh, great Empress, whose shadow causes the flowers to blossom and the rivers to flow. You are the leader of the Chinese, the oldest and the greatest civilization that humanity has ever produced. China's...
Alright, so as you can see, it loads pretty quickly. Thank you. Take a walk around.
Say to him that
Alright, so we're not gonna play this game, just check it out. Let's see what kind of graphics we have. Oh, alright. So we have full HD and pretty high settings, and as you could see, it works very well. No problems, no lag, nothing. It loads pretty quickly as well, which is nice. So, and the game is installed on the spinning hard drive, not the solid state drive. So it's the spinning hard drive loading time we're seeing, which feels pretty good actually. Let's see what we can do with Tomb Raider. So we are doing the high quality settings with motion blur and screen effects. And let's see what happens. cool thing with having these Steam games is that, like Tomb Raider, I haven't actually played it on this computer before, but obviously all my other save games are available.
Hello? Hello? Is someone there? This could be a way through. Damn it. What are these markings? What am I doing? Oh God, this is insane.
Alright, so we're not going to play this game either, just looking at what kind of performance you can expect. And again, it's pretty good actually. You do need a mouse, obviously. The mouse pad thing is absolutely hopeless. So I played a little bit of Civilization, Portal 2, and also I did install the Diablo 3, and all of those work perfectly fine. You don't have to reduce the settings as ridiculously as I did on my Surface 3, although playing at ultra quality, that's really stretching it. But gameplay works nice. As you can hear, the speakers are pretty loud, even if the bass is not there for music. In gaming it sounds okay. So a decent gaming laptop, that's what I say. So I've read the warranty card for this computer forwards and backwards, and as I said in my unboxing video, there isn't one of those warranty void if removed stickers on any of the visible screws, at least. So you can take it apart and upgrade it. Potentially there is a hard drive, there is a solid state drive, and there is memory that you can upgrade on this. I seriously doubt that you can upgrade the CPU or the graphics card, because I probably sold it on, but the other stuff you should be able to. So let's take this apart. And Asus have very kindly shown you how to take this apart, really, because as you can see, there's this extra little lid here that you can take away separately. Like so, and it opens up very nicely. And in here you can see the two DDR4 memory slots, so you can potentially just take these out and replace them with new ones. These are 4 GB DDR4 memory from Samsung, and here we have the 1 TB hard drive, which I took out the other day, and that's from Toshiba. Now, if you want to remove the rest of this, you have to actually remove the hard drive, loosen a couple of more screws, and then over here is the SSD, which is an M2 stick, also from Samsung. I wasn't able to remove this lid. I'm pretty sure there's a trick to it. It got stuck over here on the optical drive. Maybe there's a screw I missed, I don't know. You can't really do much inside except maybe replacing the SSD. I don't really know if I want to do that, so I'm quite happy just doing this. And this is very easy. To change the hard drive, you just undo these screws here, like this. Oh. And these screws are all alike, so you don't have to be extra careful to put them back in the right order. I tend to do that anyway, but there we go. This screwdriver is not magnetic, which sucks. Alright, so you just pull this out a bit and then lift it upwards, and there you go. Toshiba 1 TB hard drive, standard 2.5 inch spinning drive. You could of course replace this with an SSD as well if you want to, but you know, I find that it's actually surprisingly quick. Just slide that in, take this out and replace it, and slide it in again like so. Hang on. And then you do up all the screws and you're ready to go. Same goes for the memory. These here we go, fold up. You can just replace them with anything. Typically that would be more memory, obviously. Alright, so that's the replacing of the stuff. I won't try to take the rest off because I'm afraid to break something. I am a bit of a klutz, so let's not do that now.
Alright, so there you have it, the Asus n552vx laptop, and as you can see, the Asus logo lights up on the back of the screen when you power it up. So, conclusions. I've had the Asus n552vx for a week. I can't really say that I've, used it in depth so that I know all its secrets and really can say is it a good thing or a bad thing. Doing this video, I actually looked more at this thing than I probably would have if I didn't make videos, and specifically the quality, the build quality that I talked about, that is a disappointment. And while I was doing that, I really thought that, oh, I'm going to return this, I don't want to keep it. But having done all the other stuff, all the stuff that I think really matters
as you know, performance and things like that, playing games, doing creative work. I actually made my unboxing video on this computer, and it worked very well. So the power of this thing is exactly what I want. The screen size, it's big enough to actually do things. The Surface 3 is very nice, but the screen is so tiny that it's kind of hard to do stuff. This screen is much better. I would have preferred a QHD screen, but Full HD, a couple of years ago, that would have been, you know, wonderful, because you probably had these cheapish big laptops running just high def 720p, and now they're Full HD, and now you say, ooh, I wish it was QHD or 4K. Never mind, it's good enough. The screen is bright enough, the colors are nice enough, the sound is loud even if the bass sucks. The keyboard has a nice layout, except that you know, there's a keypad on this keyboard, so I find my hands being slightly off to the left, which means that every now and then I overshot and press keypad 4 instead of enter, which is annoying, but something you can get used to. Other than that, the keyboard is very nice. The trackpad is no worse or better than every other trackpad out there, which means that basically sucks as well. I don't like the integrated buttons. I like, you know, proper clicky buttons, because if you want to right click on something and you're doing, you know, you have to go to the far right corner of the trackpad to do a right click, and if you miss it, so you're not enough down in the right corner, you're going to do a left click, which sometimes is not what you want. So trackpad sucks as much as all the other trackpads. I love the fact that you can replace the spinning hard drive and the memory modules without actually taking this thing completely apart. I'm slightly annoyed by the fact that I can't replace the solid state drive without taking it apart. But all in all, it is a pretty nice package. It looks cheap, it feels cheap, but it performs expensive, and really that is what it's all about to me. I didn't buy this computer to replace my Surface 3. I bought it to complement my Surface 3, because this is too big to carry around all day. It's, if you're going on, you know, some kind of round the world trek where you're gonna spend most of your time in airports or train stations or on trains or traveling around, then this is not the device for you. This is the device for going somewhere for maybe a week or two and staying there and doing things there. In this case, that's the device for you, but for traveling around, the Surface 3 is a lot better. I actually got a question after my unboxing video, and someone asked, would I buy this rather than the Asus n552vx? Well, obviously I did buy this, and the reason is the 550JX is based on the Haswell, you know, processor family. The 4720HQ Core i7 is the one most similar to this, and while that CPU actually performs slightly better in the benchmarks than the 6700HQ that we have here, the Skylake processor, the Skylake generation of CPUs are actually more quiet and runs cooler than the old Haswell.
And for me, noise is something that I care about. So I want a quiet computer, and for that reason, if nothing else, I would very much prefer this over the older Haswell-based laptops that you can buy. And those gaming laptops, you can buy those still, and they are coming down in price. I actually was looking at one of those Haswell-based. It's the MSI GE62 Apache gaming laptop, which I was looking at when I found this. And my reasoning is simply that I didn't really want a gaming laptop. I just wanted a laptop with more power. And I wanted the Apache, the MSI GE62 Apache, because it was coming down in price. It was quite reasonable price, slightly more expensive than this. It looks a lot cooler, but it runs a lot hotter. And I, decided this is what I want, the Skylake. So, would I recommend anyone to buy this? That's a good question.